Welcome, Scott. Thanks for joining us on our next episode of Who's Penny. How you been?
Yeah, I'm very well, Damian. I'm happy to be here and happy to join you.
Very good. Now, Scott, tell us a little bit about the business.
Yes, so MNL Consulting is a business consultancy, and you could say people growth consultancy is our direction these days. But on the business side, it's really about business transformation, helping companies to grow up effectively. So taking what once would have been startup and very small companies, and through a process of looking and evaluating people, performance, processes, is really trying to evolve those businesses to be to get into the next stage of growth. On the people side, Damian, it's more about doing that at an individual level.
Okay.
And the growth of actual people within those organizations.
And at the moment, what are you seeing the current situation in the marketplace for the business? Are you seeing that people are really wanting to make change?
Yes and no. So there is, so on the business side of it, certainly the transformation projects change, but probably not in a good way often. So when I think about kind of negative change, it's like businesses scaling back, and that's probably just a matter for like we are where we are at the moment with COVID and the impact it's had on business. And so I have seen businesses scaling back. And to be honest, I'd rather not be involved in those sorts of projects where it's actually scaling back and at people's expense effectively. So the projects that are tougher to find are scaling through restructuring resources and processes where you're getting people set for growth again. That's harder to find, and that's been impacted in this sort of economy. On the people side of it, there is always opportunity for people development. And actually, I'd sort of say it's a really good time for that because, we're massively impacted by not having the international visas process. We haven't got internationals in the company vying for jobs. So there's space for people to develop and actually improve and get, better paying jobs, for example, better quality work in some sectors. That's certainly true.
And Scott, for everyone that's going to listen to this at some point in time, describe us a project that you've recently worked on that will identify, what you actually do.
Yep. Look, probably recently been with a tech company. So, and that was transforming their leadership team. Now, in that case, it was really about, it is evaluating the team that's there and the level of performance that that team was at that point in time. And look, and it's never nice to sort of talk about this sort of stuff. This is where some people don't perform at the level that's expected within their role, and we have to go through and evaluate that. And certainly one of the outcomes there is you're looking for leaders that have better experience and building a better leadership team for that organization to actually go to the next stage of growth. That was what that one became about. And so for me and the company, it's really about guiding a firm through that process. And it is a hard process to go through that level of evaluation and looking at yourself as an organization.
And there's certainly challenges, particularly in those situations that you see that you've got to deal with it. Other businesses don't have to deal with.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And what people, business owners don't always understand is they're only ever going to grow to the business to the capability of their people. They can't outgrow their capability of their people. And so unfortunately, at that point in time, you've either got to find out, okay, well, we've got people maybe in leadership roles, which shouldn't be there. And maybe there's a better pathway for those people that's actually going to help them with their career, not necessarily getting stuck in a leadership role that they're not successful in and feel like they can't progress any further.
Yeah. And Scott, you would see a lot of this where we tend to, as business owners, we tend not to employ people better than us. We tend to, whereas I kind of think we should always be looking to employ people better than us in the certain skills that we're looking for, because it's only going to help the business grow into the future, right?
Yeah, spot on. It is, and having worked with a multitude of leaders in different businesses. There is a reason why business owners get to where they are. They're savvy, intelligent, really driven people. So I do understand that that a lot of people do set their own benchmark quite high, but it is, but you are not, nobody's good at everything. You can complement yourself with people around you. And I think it's to sort of say, you need to complement yourself with people that are better at things that you struggle with and can build expertise that you're not capable of doing.
Yeah.
We all sort of tap out somewhere at some point in time, and there are going to be people that are better than us. And that's the way I like to look at it, is like, who are those people? Who do you need around you that's actually going to really help grow the business? That's really critical.
Oh, I totally agree. And where do you see the future heading in the next 12 to 18 months for businesses? Do you see more turmoil, or do you see it sort of leveling out a little bit?
Yeah, look, I mean, you got to hope that at some point we get ahead of the virus situation, actually, that, if we get on top of that from a vaccination point of view and actually get some stability there, because what that's going to create for us is, we desperately need the tourism back. We desperately need that influx of people. And so if you assume we sort of get to a point where some of that's unlocked, I think what that drives for us is it drives certain industries, right? So for example, tourism has a massive impact on hospitality right now. It's, one of the very impacted industries. And so I could definitely see, once that's reset and we're starting to get hospitality, that goes through potentially another boom situation like we had with hospitality in probably, 2015, 16, 17, and will drive different business models. And then the labor market's getting to return to some sort of normality. Because right now, I mean, people are employing people locally who are not actually experienced enough to do roles, and they're getting more money to do the role. They're getting paid better, and they may not have the skill set. So that's going to get shaken up again once we have international travelers back in, and skilled people in the workforce that haven't been here. That's definitely going to moderate.
I've heard numerous stories of people paying sign-on bonuses. It feels like it's an episode out of Suits sometimes. But it's crazy. But if that's how the marketplace is being pushed because of the other situations, unfortunately, it's people just keep doing that. It's just going to drive that even higher. Scott, always love to end our Who's Penny episodes with something that you might have as a useless talent. Now, I know you're a very talented human being. What's a useless talent that you may have?
It really made me think, this one, because there's a few useless talents. But one I'm prepared to share, let's put it that way, is I found I'm quite good at reading books. Obviously, with the kids, reading to the kids at night has become a thing. I'm quite good at voices. I give every book character a voice, just thinking that actually that was just what you do. But as other people have told me, no, that's not how I read a book. So, and that goes to accents, to characters. So that's a pretty useless talent, I reckon.
Very good. And what about an old trend that you'd like to come back?
There's plenty. But I'd go to obviously a man of music and loving my music. I'd just love to see more rock music play a prominent, be a focus again. Like it's just nowhere. And so whether that's like 80s, 70s, 60s, just people being creative around rock music again, it just feels like a void at the moment. Love to see it.
And Scott, look, I'd like to thank you, but I also want to put a plug out there for you, because I have been listening to some of your music on Spotify under Scott Nicolai, and may I say, it is easy listening. And as Molly Meldrum would say, do yourself a favor. Scott, thanks very much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Damian. Appreciate your time.
No
Take
worries.
care.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye.